The Dilemma of Teachers in Teaching Controversial Issues of Indonesian History by M. Fahrudin Mosukarjo and Umasi, Jakarta State University, Jakarta, Indonesia. Introduction. Controversial history is understood as a narrative of a historical event which has various explanations or versions. This is because the various explanations of a historical event are the root of the controversy. Bresch, 2011. According to culture, historical learning is very close to controversial issues. So, the emergence of controversial history is a necessity in the sense of history as a story. Ahmad, 2016. Because history is interpretative study of an event, these, the latest interpretation are often to be made. Controversial history arises due to the difference in opinions, theories or approaches taken by historians in writing history. These differences are due to the incorrectness and incompleteness of fact and interpretation made, and usually the incorrection arises after several historians have expressed the incorrection according to the historian version. Adam, 2007. From the perspective of historical learning, controversial issues of what is known as controversial history still show two paradoxes. On the one hand, controversial history learning has the potential to develop students' abilities, especially an open-minded attitude towards historical debates. Lemon, 2005. However, on the other hand, almost all studies explain that acceptance of controversial issues in historical learning still faces many obstacles, even rejection in learning practice. The research result of the Historical Association, a professional organization of history in the UK, on the teaching sensitive and controversial issue have the premise that teachers often avoid controversial issue in history learning. Ahmad, 2016. Likewise, Misko, in his study of curriculum development opportunities for learning controversial issue in Latvia, also explained that there is a tendency for teachers to be afraid to teach controversial issue. Method. The purpose of this study is to explore the problem of controversial history learning in Indonesian history subject, especially regarding the dilemma of teachers in teaching controversial issues. This research is a preliminary study of a controversial history learning program evaluation research through a survey of 30 Indonesian history teachers in East Jakarta who are members of the MGMP History. Based on the data, at least there are 5 factors that cases of controversial material in Indonesian historical subject. These are: first, evidences and interpretation that incomplete. Second, the evidences and new interpretation toward a historical event. Third, the importance of recount or certain group the reward a history. Fourth, the difference of evidences and interpretation to each other, and there is interest of certain groups. Therefore, the evidences of historical that must reflect it because of their importance. Fifth, there are evidences and new interpretation, the aggregate importance. The controversial history may be still not being a special interest in Department of Historical Education in college. The data on this diagram show there are 67% respondents relevant. There is no specific subject, but the explanation of controversial material that they have obtained is integrated with other subjects. Based on this diagram, it represented some reason about the factor that historical teachers that lack of attention toward controversial historical material that are: first, the student concerned will have confusion with the variety version of historical events, 46%. Secondly, the lack of teacher knowledge about controversial historical material, 29%. Third, the study of controversial material will causes uncertainty historical material, 13%. Fourth, the teacher reluctance to discuss controversial material, 4%. Fifth, the teacher reluctant for study from other source, 4%. And then six, being afraid to government and police, 4%. Conclusion. First, there is teacher reluctance in teaching controversial material, and there is even a tendency for teachers to avoid discussing controversial material. Second, the teacher feel insufficient knowledge of controversial material and how to teach controversial material. Third, the factors cited as reason by the teachers were that the provision they received while studying at the LPTK were inadequate, as well as the lack of availability of learning resources that supported learning controversial historical material.